Joining me right now, ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Georgia Congressman Doug Collins. Congressman Collins, good to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
All right, what do you think? What's your synopsis of today?
Well, it's real simple. Nothing learned, nothing new. We know exactly what they wanted to do to start with, and they just basically, frankly, if you look at it from a perspective, if you've never heard anything that Adam Schiff had said before, let's just say you were new to the process, what you saw today was a bunch of how many hearsays do I have, and where did you find this out, and what are you talking about, and the president didn't do anything, and they got their money. Look, you don't muddle a message. The Democrats are just grasping at straws, and if this was their best attempt, then they've got a long way to go.
Yeah, I think they do have a long way to go. And by the way, how do we think about the credibility of Adam Schiff here? Because wasn't this the guy that kept saying that he had proof that there was collusion with the Russians, only for everyone to then find out there was no such thing?
Trish, you're assuming something very much not in evidence, and that is actually credibility of Adam Schiff. This is someone who can't spell truth, much less tell it. And that's what we've just seen this over the past 3 years. When he says that he sees things, that there was corruption, there was this, there was all kinds of things. Let's just face the facts. This goes back to November 2016, when there were tears in Brooklyn because Hillary Clinton lost, and they said the first thing we can do is let's just impeach this president. And then a funny thing happened on the way to the next election cycle. Donald Trump, the president, actually came into office and did what he said he was going to do. And our economy responded, our jobs responded, our standing in the world responded, and so they have been desperately seeking some way to avoid another defeat next year, and this is what they feel like they have to do because their co-candidates are awful.
I suspect they're also trying to get ahead of what's going to come out. You've got the criminal probe,
yeah,
right, that Durham's doing, and Attorney General Barr. And you also have the IG report that's going to be coming out any day now. We're getting reports of possibly next week, possibly sometime within the next 10 to 14 days. It's been taking a while, but some say that's for good reason. What are your thoughts on the IG report? What are your thoughts on whether or not this is entirely a strategy about trying to mount an offense as a kind of defense?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think, look, they're so desperate on impeachment, and they promised it to so many that that's a focus and a single-minded focus that they're going to try anything they can have. I don't think it's any coincidence that July the 24th was the day that Mueller testified, and their whole theory went down in flames. And on July 25th, the deep state basically found something that they could go on a phone call and then began to talk to Adam Schiff. And now we see this other part. But this IG report is going to be important. This is where we go back to what many of us have talked about for years and investigated, where we saw the corrupt cabal of Comey, Strzok, Page, Brennan, Clapper, all of these, Baker and others, who we see a concerted effort to take down, at that time, a candidate, and then continuing on in to take down the president after he's inaugurated. This is where everybody watching this show tonight, Democrat, Republican, Independent, I don't care if you like politics, you need to be very aware of what's going to come out of this FISA report, because this is a secret court in which they went into and went after American citizens. This should never happen, and should definitely never happen to a president or a presidential candidate. This is what they're scared of, because they don't want to deal with this. In fact, my chairman, who has completely botched most everything this year, Chairman Nadler, doesn't even want to schedule a hearing on this because he doesn't even want to talk about it. So that's how much they're fearful of it. The
whole thing is a really scary thing. I mean, I look at it, and you know, I've done a lot of reporting on Latin America, and I keep saying, wait a second, this kind of feels Banana Republic-like. The idea that we can't have a peaceful transition of power, or you have Hillary Clinton and the rest of them basically arguing that Donald Trump didn't deserve to win had it not been for the Russians. He never would have been there in the first place. Congressman, that's problematic.
It is problematic, especially when Hillary Clinton didn't know how to run a campaign. If she knew where Wisconsin was, maybe she should have done better. This is the part that is really just concerning. When you look at this, I want to draw an analogy. Look at the Comey, Page, and all the Strzok and all that stuff going on with the going up to the election and into the election. And then now look at today, when we had two career, basically State Department bureaucratic employees who, if you listen to what they actually said, here's what they were actually saying was, we've been doing this forever, we've been under different presidents, and all we need to do is you need to listen to us because we're the only ones that really know what we're doing. And they forget the very premise that they work for an administration. They are not the administration. They're not the president. The president sets the foreign policy. The president sets the priorities and agendas for our country, and they're supposed to carry it out. And if they can carry it out, then they need to move over so someone who can. This is all about not liking a president who came in and did something that nobody else had done, and I said, I'm going to do what I said I would do. And they are spooked by it, and they don't like it.
Congressman Collins, it's good to see you. Good to have your perspective. Thank you so much, sir.